I just sold this home that I purchased back in 2010 for $515,000. Now on paper, it looks like I made over $300,000 on the sale of this home. But let me walk you through what it actually cost me to own this home, and let's see, did I actually make any money on the sale of this home? Now on the surface, I bought this home in 2010 for $203,000, and in 2025, I sold it for $515,000, a gross return of 153% over 15 years. However, the first math that we need to do is to reduce the sale price by the expenses that I incurred as a result of selling this home. Now, as a real estate broker, I didn't pay myself a commission on this particular sale. We had transfer tax, we had title insurance, there was a buyer's agent. I gladly paid him what he was asking, his percentage. So my rate of return goes from about 153% over 15 years to about 142% over 15 years. Still a pretty good rate of return. However, the home cost me money to own and to maintain and to keep. Now, the very first and probably the easiest number to figure out was property taxes. I paid, over 15 years, I paid $50,606.62 in property taxes to the great municipality of Byron Township. We also paid about $18,000 in insurance over 15 years. We had 9 different appliances that we replaced. We had a garage overhead door, we had an AC unit, we bought a new shed, we added some concrete, estimated around $15,000 in repairs and improvements to the home right before we put it on the market somewhat recently. As I total all of these things up, best guess is we're around $160,000 in total cost of ownership. So if we take our sale price of $515,000, less the cost of selling, less the cost of ownership, we get to around $332,000 as a dollar amount that we actually made on the sale. Now, if we look at the initial $203,000 that we paid for the home and the roughly $232,000 that we walked away with from the sale of the home 15 years later, we're at about a 64% rate of return over 15 years as a total return on investment. But if you look at that per year, it's about 4.25%. 4.25% as a rate of return each year over 15 years. That's not a great rate of return on an investment. So this then gets to the question, is a single family home as a primary residence a good investment or not? Now, as a real estate broker of over 20 years, I can confidently tell you that your single family home as your primary residence is not a good investment. However, it's not intended to be a good investment. Is an apple a good orange? No. No, an apple's an apple and an orange is an orange. A single family home as a primary residence isn't a good investment because it's not intended to be an investment. We buy single family homes so we can live in them. If you want to invest money, invest it in something that is actually an investment. Now, did I get a positive rate of return on my home here in Byron Center? I did, and I'm abundantly grateful for that. Would I have gotten a better rate of return if I had invested that $203,000 in back in 2010? Absolutely I would. But I can't live in an index fund. I can't live in a 401k. I can't live in my Roth IRA. And I need a place to live. Those are great investment vehicles, but I can't live in them. There are lots of great reasons to own a single family home. And as a real estate agent of 20 plus years, I'm a huge advocate of owning home. But is it an investment? No. It's not. It's not intended to be an investment. Investments look different, apples and oranges. Are there exceptions to this? Absolutely. There are always exceptions to every rule. But in general, owning a single family home is not always a great investment. So let's be honest with ourselves and say owning a single family home isn't always a great investment, but it's not intended to be an investment. It's intended to be a home. And if that home happens to go up in value,